We live in the most connected age in human history. With just a few taps, we can share our lives with hundreds or even thousands of people. Yet, despite this constant connectivity, loneliness is on the rise. How is it possible to feel so alone when we're never truly alone? Why does social media, designed to bring us closer, often leave us feeling more isolated? Let's be honest, we've all been there. You're scrolling through your feed, liking posts, leaving comments, and for a moment it feels like you're part of something. But then you put your phone down, and the silence hits you. You realize that none of those interactions truly filled the void. They were like fast food for the soul. Quick, convenient, but ultimately unsatisfying. And you're left wondering, why do I feel so lonely? The truth is, social media doesn't connect us. It distracts us. It gives us the illusion of connection without the depth of real relationships. Think about it. When was the last time you had a meaningful conversation online? Not a quick comment or a DM, but a real, heartfelt exchange. For most of us, those moments are rare. Instead, we're stuck in a cycle of superficial interactions, liking, sharing, and scrolling that leave us feeling emptier than before. I'll admit it, I've fallen into this trap more times than I can count. There are days when I spend hours on social media, convinced that I'm staying connected. But at the end of the day, I feel more alone than ever. It's like standing in a crowded room where everyone is talking, but no one is really listening. And I'm not alone in this. Social media users are more likely to report feelings of loneliness and isolation. It's a paradox. The more we connect online, the lonelier we feel. I remember a time when I was scrolling through Instagram and I came across a post from an old friend. They were at a party, surrounded by people, laughing and having the time of their life. And there I was, sitting on my couch in sweatpants, feeling like I'd been left out. Never mind that I hadn't spoken to this person in years. Never mind that I didn't even like parties. At that moment, all I felt was loneliness. That's the power of social media. It magnifies our insecurities, making us feel like we're on the outside looking in. But it's not just the comparison that drives loneliness, it's the absence of presence. Real connection requires more than words on a screen. It requires tone, touch, eye contact, the subtle cues that make us feel seen and understood. Online, these cues are missing. We might be chatting with a friend, but we're not really there with them. As one writer put it, we're together, but we're not really there. This lack of presence can leave us feeling lonelier even after hours of scrolling. I think about the last time I had a meaningful conversation. It wasn't over text or DM, it was face to face, over a cup of coffee. There was something about the way my friend leaned in, the way their eyes lit up when they laughed, the way they paused to really listen. That's the kind of connection that fills you up, that makes you feel less alone. Social media can't replicate that. It can't give us the warmth of a hug or the comfort of a shared silence. And so, even when we're surrounded by virtual friends, we feel lonely. And then there's the fear of missing out, or FOMO. Social media is a constant reminder of what we're not doing, who we're not with, and what we're not achieving. We see pictures of friends at parties we weren't invited to, vacations we can't afford, and milestones we haven't reached. This constant comparison can make us feel like we're on the outside looking in, deepening our sense of isolation. I'll admit it, I've fallen into the FOMO trap more times than I can count. I'll be sitting at home, perfectly content, until I open Instagram and see someone's perfectly curated life. Suddenly, my contentment evaporates. I start questioning my choices, my relationships, my worth. It's like social media has a way of magnifying our insecurities, of making us feel like we're not enough. And the more we compare, the lonelier we feel. But perhaps the most insidious aspect of social media is how it commodifies relationships. Our worth is measured in likes, followers, and comments. We start to see ourselves and others as products to be consumed rather than people to be loved. This transactional approach to relationships can make us feel like we're valued for our online persona rather than our true selves, and when the likes stop coming, we're left wondering if anyone really cares. I've seen this play out in my own life. There was a time when I was obsessed with my follower count. I'd post a picture and refresh the app every few minutes, waiting for the likes to roll in. When they did, I felt a fleeting sense of validation. But when they didn't, I felt worthless. It's a toxic cycle, one that turns relationships into a numbers game. And in the end, no amount of likes or followers can replace the warmth of a real human connection. Because connection is not the same as communication. Because presence is not the same as performance. And because, in the end, no amount of likes or followers can replace the warmth of a real human connection. Social media can be a tool for connection, but it's not a substitute for it. If we want to combat loneliness, we need to put down our phones, look up, and truly see the people around us. I think about the moments when I've felt truly connected. They're not the moments when I'm scrolling through my feed or posting a selfie. They're the moments when I'm fully present, when I'm laughing with a friend, sharing a meal with my family, or having a deep conversation with someone I care about. Those are the moments that fill me up, that make me feel less alone. And those are the moments we need more of. So, how do we find that balance? How do we use social media in a way that brings us closer rather than pushing us apart? I think it starts with being intentional. Instead of mindlessly scrolling, we can use social media to reach out to someone we care about. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we can focus on what makes us happy. And instead of seeking validation online, we can find it within ourselves and in our real-life relationships. It's not easy. Breaking free from the grip of social media takes effort and self-awareness, but I believe it's worth it. Because at the end of the day, we're not meant to live our lives through a screen. We're meant to connect, to love, to be present. And no amount of likes or followers can replace that. What do you think? Does social media make you feel more connected or more alone? And how can we use it in a way that brings us closer rather than pushing us apart?